Hello, everybody. I'm Jaret Reddick. And this is a podcast. Jaret Goes to the Movies. Hopefully you have seen or heard one of my many musical endeavors. And if you have, then you know how much I love movies. This is movie commentary with no movie knowledge. This podcast is me and my friend Rich talking about movies that we like. But my name's on it because I'm famous. This is Jaret Goes to the Movies. Still. Okay, we're starting now.
I was sitting with my friend Arthur Kornblum in a restaurant. It was a Horn-and-Dahlet cafeteria. And this beautiful girl walked in, and I turned to Arthur, and I said, Arthur, you see that girl? I'm going to marry her. And 2 weeks later, we were married. And it's over 50 years later, and we are still married.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Jaret. Rich, how you doing, bud?
Hi, what's up?
This week, we are doing When Harry Met Sally. I'll have some thoughts on that here in just a second, but the synopsis goes like this. Harry and Sally have known each other for years and are very good friends, but they fear sex will ruin the friendship. That synopsis on IMDb is horseshit. This movie is actually about these two people who can't stand each other the first time they meet on across the Midwest trip to New York City. They run into each other a couple of other times, still really can't stand each other. They both are basically going through that young adulthood life change, and then they meet and they experience that thing, that organic love that happens so very few times in life where you actually get to know someone before you take the plunge.
That thing.
That is just not something that happens a lot. With me always is Rich. Rich is the star of this podcast. The stars of this movie are Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. This is a Rob Reiner film written by Nora Ephron. You know, I gotta say, when we decided to do this movie, I was a little iffy. I think,
Yeah, very iffy.
and I even thought as I was watching it, I was sitting there and I was thinking, you know, that there's a lot of quotes that I have in my head, but I don't really think until after I watched it and it sort of wrestled around in my head a little bit that I was just like, you know, this actually really is an important movie. And as we get into it, I think I'll be able to express like there's some quotes, there's some things, there's some scenes, there's, you know.
I had a different journey on
Yeah?
this. Yeah. It was almost the opposite, but I think we came around to the same conclusion at the end. But at the beginning, I was all pumped for it. I was like, this is hilarious. And then as I'm watching it, I'm going, this is less hilarious.
Yeah.
And more just poignant and dead on
in the relationship aspect of things.
and less punchy funny, as I remember, and more drawn out funny.
There are some funny things that happen, but I do think that there's amazing character building in a small cast.
Right.
And you actually get to see, especially Harry, being a complete and total idiot.
It's basically a cast of 4.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you get to see him grow up. You get to see him become a person who is capable of real love.
This 1989 that this released.
89, junior year in high school. I believe it was a summer movie, so going into my senior year of high school. And crazy to me, I looked at this, and I know you're the fact guy, but you know, this movie completely tanked its first week. It only made like $1 million, and it was up against Batman and Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones.
Right.
But I remember going to see it. I went on a date and saw the movie, good date movie.
I had just graduated high school the summer of 89. I was dating Leanne Reardon, and the only movie I had seen that whole summer. So I saw Batman. That was the only movie I saw that year.
Yeah.
So I think I saw this one probably not until years later. After college for 2 years, I went to Germany and worked for a year. Nothing on TV. There was nothing. And they had this little library of movies where I'm pretty sure I rented it there along with Casablanca, actually. That was the first time I saw Casablanca.
Interesting.
Too, which is integral to this movie, obviously.
You know, I do remember Meg Ryan was America's sweetheart at the time.
And who's today's sweetheart? Is there today's Meg Ryan?
It's the chick. Yeah, it's the chick from the Hunger Games. It's definitely her.
Okay, I mean, she's definitely the internet. Because Jennifer Aniston was kind of between now and then.
There was Meg Ryan. There was Reese Witherspoon. There was
Reese. I would say Reese
for sure. She was
not anymore,
definitely
she hit that point.
You know,
at some point. And Jennifer Aniston, I definitely think was America's sweetheart
for sure.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah, for sure. And
I've always hated Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts has a tie to this movie, actually.
Yeah.
Meg Ryan was supposed to be in Steel Magnolias.
Right. And she
turned that down, and that was Julia Roberts' after Pretty Woman movie. You know, I feel like let's just dive into this one.
Would you consider this movie an epic?
You know, I think that it has to be an epic movie, and in your words, an iconic movie because...
I don't mean iconic, but
Okay.
I mean actual epic.
Okay.
An epic, and here's the definition of epic. So,
Okay, I see. You're throwing a little literature in on me.
Right. So, I mean, I look like Braveheart, I consider an epic. It spans generations. It spans different, here's the definition.
This movie is way less
So
exciting
there's
than Braveheart. I mean, I like
Right.
way less action,
But
adventure.
I don't think to be an epic,
Mel
it needs to
Gibson?
be action, though.
Yeah. All right. What's the
So
definition?
there's a
epic?
bunch of different definitions, but I highlighted this one. There are some films described as epic almost solely on the basis of their enormous scope and sweeping panorama of their settings, such as How the West Was Won, East of Eden, that do not have the typical substance of classical epic, but are directed in an epic style.
I don't feel like this is an epic at all.
You don't think
this
so?
is just
'Cause it's over 12 years.
Yeah, but it's a story
and
of
like
two people.
It's like they're fresh out of college and then just getting started up in business.
But
and
it's
then
it's
matured
geographically
after they
small. It's
divorced.
relationship wise small. It's just a very small movie. As far
I
as
say geographically small, yes, even though New York is gigantic.
obviously, but they obviously are in a place where they're going to run into one another enough
then
times.
I would still say borderline epic. Like one more little thing added to it, and it's definitely an epic.
I don't know. I don't know if I could really argue to the point of either way. I just
What's that Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman film, Far and Away? You
Far
seen
and
that
Away.
one?
Yeah, that's an epic. It's
You would
the
consider
freaking
that an
story
epic?
of like the
Okay.
some shit that happens in Ireland. Those are always epic.
So the only thing that makes that an epic is the fact that they changed location a couple of times compared to this one.
I
Because
don't
they
know.
don't
I
change
just-
location. They only change location twice.
To be honest, I've never seen that movie, but I do think that
That's a great movie.
this is not a vast movie. This is a movie that takes place with a camera shot that is for the most part on two people all the
That's true.
time.
That's true.
And it doesn't even matter like who we're talking about. It's literally just conversations between two people unless they're playing Pictionary.
So we're saying right now, films cannot be epics if the location is basically
That's not
the
what
same
I
thing.
said at
Because
all.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying as we go forward in this, an epic can't be something that doesn't span a few locations.
I just don't feel like this is a big enough story for it to be epic. This is literally just
I think it's a huge romantic story.
Sure, but it's very focused on there's nothing affected outside of these two people's lives besides them, them. Like, in other words, they're not influencing anything out into the outer climate of their surroundings
Far
or
and
anything.
Away isn't really doing that either. I mean, it's all about those two people. People interact with them as they go along, but I still think that's a great example of an epic movie.
Epic, a long poem that tells a story of a hero's adventures. We don't have a hero, really.
Really, is not no.
No.
Oh, okay.
A long movie or book that usually tells a story about exciting events or adventures. And this is the way that I actually thought when you first said it, a work of art as a novel or drama that resembles or suggests an epic. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just bigger than that. This is no Mona Lisa.
I agree.
All right,
It's
moving
not
on.
an epic.
Let's get into the movie.
But
This conversation is not epic at all. And in fact, it's dragging me down. It's taking me into like, I fucking hate this movie land.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Sally, this is Harry Burns. Harry, this is Sally Albright.
The predictable kissing scene that you sort of just see in Billy Crystal's face. First of all, that he is way too old to be just graduating from college.
But wait a minute, his hair is all messed up. That means he's
yeah,
younger.
I know. It's very pubescent.
It is.
Just so puby. I mean, but Meg Ryan looks good. I mean,
Do you feel like the movie could have just ended when he, it's like, why leave this hot piece of ass and get in this car?
what's funny is that I don't remember in 1989, I don't remember thinking, Billy Crystal was on top of the world at the time. So I don't remember overthinking the fact that he was 40 years old, playing a young character
No,
at
I
that
didn't
point.
either.
I remember it sold it fine to me.
Well, that's so hard to do.
Of course it is. Yeah. I mean, unless you're going to just replace the actors or whatever, but I don't
Right.
feel like
Which never works either,
Well,
'cause they
getting
never
into
look
that,
like-
getting into the dialogue of that first car ride. I mean, it starts right off with the grapes.
I'll roll down the window.
And just what I looked at Casey at this point. We were watching the movie together, and I'm really lucky to have a fiance who is humoring us on this whole podcast, and will sit and watch these movies with me every week. But and the first thing I said was, on all of his rants, I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like there's no way to make notes on this. I mean, he is just rattling it off and rattling off. Like the amount of dialogue that Billy Crystal has in this movie is crazy.
It's Nora Ephron. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Do you feel like that if there wasn't a Nora Ephron, there couldn't be a Tarantino? I feel like Tarantino's work is just like Nora Ephron, except with a lot more vulgarity. And
that's a really amazing point. I mean, that's spot on,
doesn't
because
it feel like that?
Does sort of feel that it's that way of like, hey, I'm telling you this story. This is the way that things are. And you go, well, I'm not like that. Yes, you are. And here's why you're like that.
Right.
You know, and that's very much like, you know, a Vincent Vega type thing.
Exactly.
You know, who says that?
I don't know if something came before Nora Ephron, but if there isn't, if she sort of invented this, I'm sure she didn't, but tell us on at Jaret Movies on Twitter. But if it didn't, he definitely got it from Nora Ephron. Jesus,
this act in the movie where he and Meg Ryan are riding in the car. They get out of the car, they go into the restaurant, back into the car. It's all just so fast and so good, and it's almost like it never stops. You know, it almost feels like you were in the car with them the entire ride.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
You're wrong.
He wants her to leave. That's why he puts her on the plane.
I don't think she wants to stay.
Of course she wants to stay. Wouldn't you rather be with Humphrey Bogart than the other guy?
I don't want to spend the rest of my life in Casablanca married to a man who runs a bar. It probably sounds very snobbish to you, but I don't.
You'd rather be in a passionless marriage
And be the first lady of Czechoslovakia.
than live with a man you've had the greatest sex of your life with just because he owns a bar and that is all he does.
I actually had to really whittle these clips down. I mean, that goes on for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's all these, you know, epic monologues. Again, it's all Billy Crystal. You do hear that a lot of this is improvised.
You're a very attractive person.
Thank you.
Amanda never said how attractive you were.
Well, maybe she doesn't think I'm attractive.
I don't think it's a matter of opinion. Empirically, you are attractive.
I've actually used that empirically thing. When I heard that stuck with me.
This scene, you know, obviously opens up with her walking into the restaurant.
Obviously, you haven't had great sex yet. Two, please.
Right over there. Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
It just so happens that I have had plenty of good sex.
So herein is where I believe the movie starts to make sense for us being here right now talking about it. Because now...
Because of the sex part?
No. Well, sure. But now we have scenes that are quoted all the time and every day. So you have, obviously, her ordering of the pie.
I'd like the chef salad, please, with the oil and vinegar on the side, and the apple pie a la mode.
Chef and apple a la mode.
But I'd like the pie heated, and I don't want the ice cream on top. I want it on the side, and I'd like strawberry instead of vanilla if you have it. If not, then no ice cream, just whipped cream, but only if it's real. If it's out of a can, then nothing.
Not even the pie?
No, just the pie, but then not heated.
You know that girl?
Yeah.
Well, guess fucking what, Rich? That girl is me. All right? That's how I fucking order food.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%. Now, I have gotten way better about it.
Why?
In my adult... I am the pickiest fat guy that has ever lived. I'm not kidding. It sucks. I'm cursed. Like, I am literally just a cursed human being. Like, I don't like anything, and if I do like it, I don't like it with other stuff. And I don't care if my food touches. That's not a thing. It's just like I hate onions, and I don't like pickles, and I don't like coffee, and I just have a complicated
You don't even
life.
like beer inside of your beer.
I don't like beer.
You just
on
like
top
Miller
of,
Lite.
I like Miller Lite. I don't like beer. I say it all the time. I'm not a beer drinker. I drink Miller Lite. Anyway, I feel like that whole order, the ordering of the pie to me. Then you have the underwear thing. This is how she lost Sheldon.
Well, if you must know, it was because he was very jealous and I had these days of the week underpants.
I'm sorry, I need a judge's ruling on this. Days of the week underpants.
Yes, they had the days of the week on them, and I thought they were sort of funny. And then one day Sheldon says to me, "You never wear Sunday. It's all suspicious. Where was Sunday? Where had I left Sunday?" And I told him, and he didn't believe me.
What?
They don't make Sunday.
Why not?
Because of God. I say it all the time, Rich. I say because of God all the time. We're out of beer. Why? Because of God. It works for any and everything. It really is. It's just like, you know, they don't have a 5 o'clock shuttle to the stadium. Why not? Because of God. When he says, when I buy a new book, I read the last page first.
Right.
That way, in case I die before I finish, I know how it ends. That, my friend, is a dark side. Have you ever done that?
That seems like the worst thing in the world to do.
Here's the thing. I used to read these books called Choose Your Own Adventure.
Love those.
Right. I used to fucking start with the ending that I wanted and work backwards.
But how does that even make
Because
sense?
that's how dreams come true, Rich.
That's like trying to win the book.
That's exactly what you're trying to do.
You're trying to win the book. You're
Yeah, I
not
fucking won.
enjoying
Yeah.
the story
Listen.
and the outcome, the surprise outcome. You're winning the book.
I don't think you
I
understand.
win the book.
There are 12 ways that your code name as Jonah could have ended, and I wanted the really, really good one. Again, so are you with me here? Like at this point, are you realizing, and maybe not as you're watching, but before you watched, maybe this was something that stuck in your head. I don't know. I just want to go back to the thing that we said at the first of the podcast.
Yeah.
I think we both second guessed picking this movie.
At first, I was the opposite. I was like, this is going to be hysterical. This movie is tons of punchlines, tons of great moments. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the hardest movie to do ever. Because like we just did Vacation,
Right.
which was a fucking riot.
Which, and again, that one was easy. It was a softball, one-liner after
It really
one-liner.
was.
We say fuck a bunch. It's
Right.
great. Put it on the books.
This one is the scenes are so stretched out, but I'm glued to them.
Yeah.
I'm watching them and I can't take my eyes off it. I'm trying to do work as I'm watching and I can't do work because I'm watching the scenes. Because the scenes are they're just so brilliantly written. And they suck you in.
He is so confident in everything he says, whether it's bullshit or not.
Right.
And she is literally just realizing all of this as it goes and just becoming, in this first scene, obviously, or this first act, becoming more and more disgusted with him as it goes. But she's also starting to like him a little bit. You know, she's getting a little bit of
that hate-like.
She's getting that a little soft spot.
You realize, of course, that we could never be friends.
Why not?
What I'm saying is, and this is not a come on in any way, shape, or form, is that men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
That's not true. I have a number of men friends and there is no sex involved.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I
You
do.
only think you do.
You're saying I'm having sex with these men without my knowledge?
No, what I'm saying is they all want to have sex with you.
They do not.
Do too.
They do not.
Do too.
How do you know?
Because no man can be friends with a woman that he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
So you're saying that a man can be friends with a woman he finds unattractive?
No, you pretty much want to nail him too.
Again, so you're at 3 epic quotes,
Right. We haven't
dialogues, and we haven't
We're
even got
15 minutes into the
That's
movie.
what I'm saying about this movie, though. So, like, maybe it isn't hysterically funny, but it's this one's gonna live forever because these scenes are gonna stick around forever.
Yes.
And so, apparently they can't be friends, and
Right.
it's super sad. And all of a sudden, we're in New York, and
They say their goodbyes.
they do say goodbye. But see, this is the first time you see this sweetness and this. She likes him. You can tell at this point. I mean,
She's intrigued by him. He's the bad boy that all girls like.
right.
But she's the good girl who doesn't date the bad boys.
So they're on the airplane, and it's the second meeting. And, now he's a lawyer. She's got straight hair. And there she is, still the same.
Do you do the right "that's what I said" thing?
I can't believe you can't remember her name.
What do you mean? I can remember Amanda, right? Amanda Rice.
Reese.
Right. That's
That's what I said. Yeah,
I
totally.
do that all the
Yeah,
time.
that's what I said. Yeah.
I definitely got that from that movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, again, there's a bunch of those.
Get together, what, 3 weeks?
A month. How did you know that?
You take someone to the airport, it's clearly the beginning of a relationship. That's why I have never taken anyone to the airport at the beginning of a relationship.
Why?
Because eventually things move on and you don't take someone to the airport. And I never wanted anyone to say to me, how come you never take me to the airport anymore?
How true is that?
Did you know in the state of Texas, if you take somebody to the airport and they have more than 2 suitcases, you're legally married? And that is still on the books as a law. I'm not kidding.
Whatever.
That is like one of those laws, dude. You can look it up. I'm not joking.
I'm married to my friend Brian.
Yeah,
then.
I know. There's gay marriage was totally fucking legal back then. That's the thing. We were doing it way early. No, it's a whole thing. I'm telling you, man. My fiance doesn't even take me to the airport. So
Who is she?
Helen Hilson, she's a lawyer. She's keeping her name.
I fucking love that
you
line.
like that because she's keeping her name? Yeah.
What whole thing?
The whole life of a single guy thing. You meet someone, you have the safe lunch, you decide you like each other enough to move on to dinner. You go dancing, you do the white man's overbite. Go back to her place, you have sex, and the minute you're finished, you know what goes through your mind? How long do I have to lie here and hold her before I can get up and go home? Is 30 seconds enough?
That's what you're thinking? Is that true?
Sure. All men think that. How long do you like to be held afterwards? All night, right? See, that's the problem. Somewhere between 30 seconds and all night is your problem.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
That part sucked for me because then at the end and they do it and he's just laying there like a fucking asshole with his eyes wide open or whatever, and it's supposed to be hilarious, and I didn't really think it was funny. I thought she was so sweet and just wanted to get him a drink of water, and she's like so happy, and you know, I don't know. Anyway, we don't have to get to that yet, but that made me want to just fucking punch him in the face.
Right.
You know, I mean, even if that is a thing at some times, I don't, that's one that I don't really know. I mean, unless you're just a fucking player. I don't know. You would know better than me, Rich. You're like a goddamn fucking ninja.
Whatever.
We were married 40 years ago. We were married 3 years. We got a divorce. Then I married Marjorie.
But first you lived with Barbara.
Right, Barbara. But I didn't marry Barbara. I married Marjorie.
Then you got a divorce.
Right. Then I married Katie.
Another divorce.
Then a couple of years later at Eddie Colicchio's funeral, I ran into her. I was with some girl I don't even remember.
Roberta.
Right, Roberta. But I couldn't take my eyes off you. I remember I snuck over to her and I said, what did I say?
You said, what are you doing after?
Right. So I ditched Roberta. We go for coffee. A month later, we're married.
35 years today after our first marriage.
So these were interviews with real people, and then Rob Reiner took the dialogue from the real people.
Yeah. And had
then
actors
do them.
This is one of those things, and I talk about this a lot in music, where sometimes I don't want to hear songwriters talk about where songs came from, because I hate when a song really speaks to me, and then I find out it's not real. Right. It's not. It's. So
you were disappointed in the fact that those weren't the real people?
I was, because I thought they were. So now, okay. So let me back up though. I think watching this in '89 and the several times that I watched this on cable enough to have all of these lines in my head and all of that, I think at that point I always bought that they were real people.
Yeah.
This time, and maybe it's because I knew that and subconsciously I was looking for the ticks that actors do or whatever, but it was pretty obvious for the most part. Yeah.
Except for the Asian couple.
I mean, that one seemed a little bit real.
Because she's an actress?
I don't know.
Seriously?
They threw
she doesn't have a face
You know
for
which
TV.
one gives it away? It's he was just the same. He looked just the same. That one just absolutely gives it away.
I didn't get any clips for this, but the girls are on the patio talking. The guy broke up with her that she started dating 5 years ago that they saw at the airport.
Joe.
Right. And then
this is where we're introduced to
Princess Leia is trying to get
Carrie
her to,
Fisher. I was gonna ask you about this. So you're obviously a Star Wars guy.
Yeah, everyone's a Star Wars guy. Even you, right?
I am not.
What the
Star
fuck?
Wars guy. But I will say that I saw the movie Star Wars. Did you think Princess Leia was attractive? No, me either.
I think the whole gold bikini thing is way overrated.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't have
I
a
didn't
thing
really
for
get
that.
it, but I will say that I started to find her attractive later in life.
When she got bigger?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Where are you going with that?
No, that's it. I just wonder, what you watch a movie now and it's fucking Princess Leia. I mean, does that play into your head at all? That's my fucking favorite trilogy of all time.
No, I don't do that. I just go, that's the girl from
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right. Her big line, you're right. I know you're right. I say that shit all the time. Every time they say he's never going to leave his wife. You're right. I know you're right.
I don't understand why she had to be so not attractive though. Like the haircut. I don't is it the 80s? I don't.
She always had that short hair thing.
I know, but she looked great in Star Wars.
You just said you didn't find her attractive in Star Wars.
I don't find her attractive, but she looked great.
Yeah,
I don't know. She wasn't my type.
She had 2 fucking Cinnabons on her fucking head at the time.
Looked better than her haircut from fucking When Harry Met Sally.
I don't know if that's true.
Oh my
at
god!
All.
And there was like a freaking 12-year-old boy with that haircut.
There was not even icing on the Cinnabons until Han Solo got done with her. Hi-yo! Ding, 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 ding,
When
ding,
did
ding,
this
ding.
happen? Friday. Helen comes home from work and she says, I don't know if I want to be married anymore. Like it's the institution, you know, like it's nothing personal, just something she's been thinking about in a casual way. I'm calm. I say, why don't we take some time to think about it? You know, don't rush into anything.
Yeah, right.
Next day, she says she's thought about it, and she wants a trial separation. She just wants to try it, she says, but we can still date. Like this is supposed to cushion the blow. I mean, I got married so I could stop dating. So I don't see where we can still date as any big incentive, since the last thing you want to do is date your wife, who's supposed to love you. Which is what I'm saying to her when it occurs to me that maybe she doesn't. So I say to her, don't you love me anymore? You know what she says? I don't know if I've ever loved you.
Ooh, that's harsh. You don't bounce back from that right away.
Thanks, Jess.
No, I'm a writer. I know dialogue, and that's particularly harsh.
Then she tells me that somebody in her office is going to South America and she can sublet his apartment. I can't believe this. And the doorbell rings. I can sublet his apartment. The words are still hanging in the air, you know, like in a balloon attached to a mouth.
Like a cartoon.
Right. So I go to the door, and there are moving men there. Now I start to get suspicious. I say, Helen, when did you call these movers? And she doesn't say anything. So I ask the movers, when did this woman book you for this gig? And they're just standing there, 3 huge guys, one of them wearing a T-shirt that says, don't fuck with Mr. Zero. So I said, Helen, when did you make this arrangement? She says, a week ago. I said, you've known for a week and you didn't tell me? And she says, I didn't want to ruin your birthday.
You're saying Mr. Zero knew you were getting a divorce a week before you did?
Mr. Zero, no.
I can't believe this.
I haven't told you the bad part yet.
What could be worse than Mr. Zero knowing?
It's all a lie. She's in love with somebody else. Some tax attorney. She moved in with him.
How did you find out?
I followed her. I stood outside the building.
So humiliating.
Tell me about it. And you know, I knew the whole time that even though we were happy, it was just an illusion, and that one day she would kick the shit out of me.
Marriages don't break up on account of infidelity. It's just a symptom that something else is wrong.
Really? Well, that symptom is fucking my wife.
I actually love how the scene starts with the wave coming around to them.
Definitely the wave.
And then as they come up, and essentially his wife is leaving.
Right.
She's got moving trucks at the door. And, you know, again, another amazing monologue from him.
This actually hit me a little harder than I thought it would. Because, I mean, this brought me back to my first marriage and divorce.
But do you buy the whole thing of just being like completely destroyed by if he was who he was before they got married or whatever, and you know who he is afterwards, is he completely destroyed like that for like fucking?
Because that was fucking me, dude. That was me.
What? Who was fucking you, Mr. Zero?
Oh my god.
Or
Captain,
the symptom?
Listen here, Captain Literal. Yes, I was the same person before and after, but my divorce destroyed me. I mean, it was basically like this. It was almost exactly like that.
Right.
It was like, oh, I want to leave. I just need some space. And then I find out she's fucking someone else.
Right.
And oh my God, now she's married to him.
Right.
It was that scene.
And that is something, and you didn't know. You didn't know
No.
about the affair or whatever before.
As a matter of fact, all of her friends were telling me that I was crazy. And so I started thinking I was crazy.
That she was with somebody else?
Yeah. No, it wasn't happening. I'm just all in my head.
It wasn't happening.
Yeah, it wasn't
I got
happening.
it.
It's all in my head. And so I started thinking I'm crazy.
Right.
And then turns out I did follow her.
Right.
And go, okay, I'm not crazy.
You
You are
did do
fucking
that,
someone
yeah.
else. Then, okay.
But I think, again, like sort of the poignancy of this movie, I think that does happen quite a bit.
Yeah.
And, it does suck. But let's talk about Jess as a character. Jess is a great best friend.
Baby fish mouth!
And Baby Fishmouth is
That's
the
later,
greatest guest ever in Pictionary.
Draw something resembling anything.
Yeah, it's so good.
You know, the first time we met, I really didn't like you that much.
I didn't like you.
Yeah, you did. You were just so uptight then. You're much softer now.
You know, I hate that kind of remark. It sounds like a compliment, but really it's an insult.
Okay, you're still as hard as nails.
I'm the king of this, by the way. Backhanded compliments.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So we haven't said this before. I met, so Rich is a friend of Casey's dad. They've longtime friends. I think we've talked about that. Met Rich for the first time. Wasn't a big fan. really wasn't a big fan
No.
at all. No, didn't really like you at all.
I heard you didn't like
that much, and you were her self-proclaimed godfather,
Right.
and
which has stuck.
we
now,
had
by the way.
literally talked all night about all this stuff, and you're like grilling me on freaking Bowling for Soup and all of this stuff, and then as we're leaving, and Casey and I just leaving with our child, and everything's fine. You're just like, you take care of that girl. I'll be watching. and I'm like walking out the door to Casey. I'm just like, who in the fuck is that guy? I fucking hate him. She's like, that's just Rich. You'll actually grow to love him. And then you take us to Halloween, and she's right. I grew to love you.
The second time you
Was it the second time?
I think so.
Yeah, it was the second time. But anyway, so I love you. I love you and your backhanded compliments. All right. So here we are. When Harry Met Sally, that conversation that you just played the clip from is getting to that point of where, again, you see that same glimpse in Meg Ryan's eyes that she had right when they first got to New York.
Now, here
She
I
realizes-
absolutely agree with you. Here, this
Would you
clip.
like to have dinner with me sometime?
Yeah.
Are we becoming friends now?
Well, yeah.
Great. A woman friend. You know, you may be the first attractive woman I have not wanted to sleep with in my entire life.
That's wonderful, Harry.
So this is what I'm saying about her and her reaction.
She
So-
wanted to go out with him.
She did, but here's the thing. If you think back to that moment in New York when they first got there, and that same look on her face where she's just like, oh, you're just going to go off into the sunset and that's it. See you again, never.
Yeah, she expected to be pursued. I agree with you.
Yeah, and
she didn't like him. She wasn't going to go out with him,
Right.
but she still expected him to pursue and probably wanted him to pursue her. And he just left, and she was like, oh, you're just going to leave? Wow.
What I didn't realize, though, until this viewing was that this is for sure when she starts to feel feelings.
Absolutely.
And at this point,
she wanted to go out with him.
But,
she wanted
but
to
at this
date
point,
him
from
at this
now
point.
on, through the whole friendship, everything counts.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And so even though she's the first one to go out with somebody else, and all of these
But
things,
only because he was like, well, I don't want to sleep with you.
right? I don't think that's true at all.
I think so.
No, because the reaction came when he said, "Are we becoming friends?" And you could tell she was asking him to dinner to go on a date.
On a date, and he
Right.
said, so we can be becoming friends, and she was like, yeah, let's
But she
start
gets
as
that
friends.
look on her face.
She was like, yes, let's
Throughout the movie.
start as friends, of course, but of course we're going to date and sleep together eventually. And then he was like, I don't want to sleep with you. And then she's like, oh, great. Okay, I guess we're actually going to be friends.
We didn't really talk about the blind date, so I think the blind date is funny.
I mean, you can call Marie, it's fine, but just wait a week or so, Don't make any moves tonight.
Fine, no problem then. I wasn't even thinking about tonight. Well, I don't really feel much like walking anymore. I think I'll get a cab.
I'll go with you.
Great. Taxi!
Awesome exit, and just great. I mean, even the whole dinner part where no one had anything in common, and she says one thing about this one magazine article she's read and never quoted, and it happens to be him, and then he says something else, and she had read that as well. And this is sort of that point in the movie where you're not like, why aren't you two standing there just going, you know what we should do, don't you? Is just go do it.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah, I feel like for them to be friends that long and not tried it, that one of them would have to be way less attractive than the other.
This is the thing about movies like that, though, and I think, I don't know that this gets into the anxiety area, but it's just the whole thing of where, okay, she's gonna go out with this guy and he's gonna go out with this girl, and they're gonna look at each other from across the room, and and then they regroup the next day. That was a terrible date and all of that. I mean, I guess I don't understand it because I've never had that relationship. I don't know, man. I feel like the sexual tension was there, but not only just that part of it, just their mental connection. It just seems like, you know, why wouldn't they just want to be together all
Well,
the
the
time?
only thing that sort of saved that for me is that she was really high maintenance.
Ooh, Ingrid Bergman. Now she's low maintenance.
Low maintenance?
There are two kinds of women, high maintenance and low maintenance.
And Ingrid Bergman is low maintenance?
And LM, definitely.
Which one am I?
You're the worst kind. You're high maintenance, but you think you're low maintenance.
I don't see that.
You don't see that? Waiter, I'll begin with a house salad, but I don't want the regular dressing. I'll have the balsamic vinegar and oil, but on the side. And then the salmon with the mustard sauce, but I want the mustard sauce on the side. On the side is a very big thing for you.
Well, I just want it the way I want it.
I know. High maintenance.
I just want it the way I want it is actually something that Nora Ephron said in a restaurant in front of Rob Reiner, and they like got that part of the scene from Nora Ephron.
I don't have a problem with on the side. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go back to my whole show. I don't have a fucking problem with the other side. Like, I'll just take everything on the side. If they're like, hey, it's got this sriracha onion thing on it or whatever, I'm just like, I don't know if I like that. Can you put it on the side? No, then I don't want it.
I think on the side for weird stuff that you've never heard, but I mean, how many dishes can you order that you don't know what the fuck it tastes like?
You don't like your dressing on the side? You don't like to put your own salad dressing on?
No, I like put it on there and then bring me 4 extras on the side so I
Right.
can pour those on there too.
Right. But
I don't
so
like stuff on the side.
so in essence, you
I
do
like everything as a casserole. That's
You
me.
like it?
I'm casserole guy.
Casserole.
I want the mashed potatoes and the peas and the corn and the gravy and the turkey.
Everybody
mixed
likes
up.
that. That meal is
What are
not
you
even.
ordering then? What are you ordering that has to be on the side that you don't know what it tastes like?
Oh, it's not that. No. Oh, so I always like my dressing on the side.
Why? You're gonna put it on the salad.
I don't use all of it ever.
You
No.
don't. You
Never.
eat dry salad?
No, I don't know that I've ever.
That's
Have
my
you
thing.
ever seen me use a whole thing of salad dressing ever? No.
You're eating dry salad.
No, I'm. Have you ever seen me? 100%.
Because you don't want dry shit, right?
No, it's because.
Right, exactly. You want wet. You don't want dry. You're eating a salad without salad dressing. It's fucking dry as
No,
shit.
it's not dry as shit.
is
You just
dry.
gotta balance it out. Just
Balance what? With moisture in the air? What are you talking about?
Well, sometimes there is a lot of moisture in there. We live in a very humid climate,
No,
Rich.
I can't stand dry
It's
shit.
fucking humid in here.
If I have a potato, fucking slam the shit out of that potato. I want sour cream. I want chives. I want cheese. I want everything in there. I want fucking everything.
If you can see, that's a see. The only thing I like on a potato is butter, but it has to be on the side because I only
Why
like a
does it have
little
to be on
bit
the side?
because I don't like butter. But I understand it's a thing that moistens the potato a little bit. So I put the butter on myself.
So you like dry shit, is what you're telling me.
No, that's
yes,
listen
you want
to
your
me.
salad
Hey,
dry. You want your potato dry.
honey, am I good at foreplay?
What does it have to do anything? For the record, she paused for a really long time after he asked that
I
question.
think she was just trying to think of something funny to say.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
And I went home and I said, the thing is, Joe, we never do fly off to Rome on a moment's notice.
And the kitchen floor.
Not once. It's this very cold, hard Mexican ceramic tile.
That's the funny thing is that that is the question I would ask. You know, like he's not even taking her emotion in. Like it doesn't matter that you're not flying off to Rome.
Did you do it?
at a moment's notice? Yeah. So did he bang you on the kitchen floor
Yeah.
or not? Because I mean,
details.
that's the thing is we all want to know it. He's still in that mindset.
Have you done it on the kitchen floor? On the floor? I mean, who does it on the kitchen floor?
Well, I think that's
Is that a thing?
Well, are you asking me if I have ever?
On the kitchen floor?
It seems awfully cold, but here's the thing:
That doesn't even make sense.
if
does
you're
it?
the boy, you know, it doesn't really matter that much.
If
Also,
you're the, did you just say if you're the boy?
yeah, because you don't really have to touch it, but in 4 points.
I'd rather lay on my back on the kitchen tile floor than. That's bullshit. If you got your knees on the kitchen floor, that's bullshit. That's hard. That's not comfortable. If you're lying on your back, that's a lot easier than your fucking knees. Okay, if you and I are doing it on the kitchen floor, I'm gonna be on my back. And you're gonna be.
I actually believe that, Rich.
Let me think about that for a second. Yeah, that's absolutely true. No, I don't know that no, I don't have a kitchen floor story. So you're exactly right. I mean, it does sound cold, but
Why would they?
why
that
wouldn't
seems
she
like
say
a-
kitchen cabinet then?
It's any
Kitchen table,
the
you know?
counter.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
anything
remember
other
back
than
in the day,
kitchen
the
floor.
big thing was like doing it on the washer machine, the dryer. You know, back when you could reach the top of them.
Back in '89 when I was in high school.
Yeah.
my girlfriend and I were in her bedroom with the door closed, not locked. by the way.
Oh, with the parents downstairs?
With the parent, no, it wasn't a downstairs. It was just a ranch style house.
Yeah.
And I would go, isn't your mom gonna walk in? She goes, no, they won't bother us. And I'm like, really? Okay. I honestly look back on that and I go, I cannot believe. I mean, I had to have been just the horniest dog ever. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
that's all
shit
that
you
mattered.
do when you're a
kinda-
kid is crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
and it's
Her parents were literally in the other room. They probably could have hurt us.
Yep.
I don't know.
Waiter, there is too much pepper on my paprika.
as she starts to try to do it back. It's the cutest fucking thing ever.
He ad-libbed that. She wasn't expecting it. When she turns when she turns to the side and laughs, she's looking at Rob Reiner going, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? And he goes, just go with it. So she turns and repeats
the day
it.
that we are going to talk like this. I mean, like, I fucking do that shit all the time.
Yeah, I did. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to do that all the time.
There is too much pepper on my paprika.
It might be months before we're actually able to enjoy going out with someone new.
Yeah.
And maybe longer before we're actually able to go to bed with someone new.
Oh, I went to bed.
I went to bed with her.
You went to bed with her?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty indicative of how guys are, I think.
See, that's where I get puzzled.
I didn't have an emotional connection with the girl I went out with last night. Oh, so you just called it a night? And no, I slept with her.
That's where I'm puzzled. That's where I get puzzled by movies like this. I just don't understand, just to me, that is insane. Like, how are you not at least in some way emotionally involved?
What are you saying now?
I don't know. I guess it's just been a long time for me. Like, if you're that age, you just got out of a fucking...
Okay, I'll describe it to you.
Of a long marriage.
I got out of a marriage.
Okay.
10 years we were together, 8
Okay.
years marriage.
Sure.
And devastated. She cheated on me. My self-worth was in the fucking toilet. And yeah, I slept with everything that came along.
And you had no emotional attachment to any
I
of it.
wanted to, but when there wasn't, I still slept with him if that was available. It wasn't I am literally him. It wasn't like anyone was complaining.
But how is there no... See, that's a different thing, though, because you're online dating or whatever, right? Like...
Oh, yeah, but that's how you date now.
No, but
you can't
everybody's
online
just
date
trying
now.
everybody's just trying to get out there and bang.
Online, you mean?
Do you...
No, that's not true.
No?
No. This time around, I was not looking to just bang at all.
I guess the thing... No emotional... Like, you don't feel
Let me break it down to you.
No, I actually do have questions. You don't feel like, hey, we should at least go to breakfast and I should follow this up with at least a...
Oh, God, no.
No, none of that.
No, the whole 30 seconds thing afterwards,
Yeah.
that was absolutely true.
Really? And
I
then
couldn't
what?
wait to get
you
her out of the
never
fucking...
talk to them again?
No, never.
What do you see? Have you ever seen any of them out?
No.
Really?
It's a big city.
It's not a big city.
It's a big enough city that I didn't have to.
Yeah, no cities are that
And
big.
everyone that's hating me right now, this was 10, 12, 13 years ago.
Oh, nobody's hating you. Everybody's
saying.
wondering why the fuck I'm so naive. You know?
So, no, but I mean, when I was dating, I was dating everything that moved. I was looking for someone to have a connection with, but when I didn't have a connection and, we had a few beers, we'd go back to my place, we'd have sex, and then I didn't want to ever see him again. And then I feel guilty, and then we started all over again.
If you're having sex with them at your place, how does the 30 seconds work?
You need to go.
Oh.
30 seconds. And it wasn't malicious. It was just like, oh my God, I've made the biggest mistake. I shouldn't have done this.
Did you give him a snack?
I felt guilty.
Like, you give him some almonds on the way out the door or like some pistachios?
I didn't kick him out the door, but like he said, I'm lying there going,
that's at their place.
I hope they leave. I hope they leave. I hope
No.
they leave. I hope they
Okay,
leave.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I did that for 2 years after our divorce. After my divorce. And then at some point, I just stopped dating. Stopped dating for an entire year. And then after that, then I was ready to date people for real. And then I actually was dating people seriously for a relationship.
So you would say if you went back, you don't feel like you were trying to find a relationship at that point. You were just trying to find connection.
I was filling a hole.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, in more ways than one, actually. You know what? I'm 43 years old. I can't say I've ever... it would be really hard for me not to send a thank you card or something, Like...
Casey, did he ever send you a thank you card? No, well, she's over here. Not one thank you
sent her a
card.
thank you.
She's raising her hand. I didn't get a fucking thank you card,
No, but I
Jaret.
kept coming around and I brought Payway I fixed the smoke detector.
No, that was after months and months of apologetic worthy situations.
And months, Jared.
No, I did my
It
best.
was a fluke situation.
I think I was an asshole.
A little.
A little, but I don't think I was an asshole.
Yeah, because girls are not attracted to assholes.
No, because I think I wanted to be an asshole.
Actually, you know what? That's pretty spot on.
It is fucking spot on.
I wasn't very good at being an asshole. I really wasn't.
You made a woman meow?
Oh, dude. Fucking. What point of the movie does that come in? Like
They're playing baseball.
Oh, they're doing the batting cages.
Really, it encompasses their entire relationship.
I can say these things to her. And the great thing is, I don't have to lie because I'm not always thinking about how to get her into bed. I can just be myself.
She started the movie with a different voice. She had like a higher voice. She was a little bit quirky, whatever.
Well, it was
like,
12 years ago.
Agreed, but he had the same voice. The same stupid attitude, you know, this whole like fucking...
Yeah, but he got fucking hurt.
Whatever. Yes, of course he got hurt.
He got crushed.
Yeah, but he changed. He matured. She grew as a person, but stayed the same as well.
She was the same person, but she just matured.
She did. He matured.
I think she matured.
I think
he changed because of the divorce.
Okay, sure. Well, I think he changed falling in love, then the divorce. You know what I mean? Because this is a guy who was just like, I'm going to fuck everybody. Like, he didn't even remember the name of his girlfriend.
Yeah, he just wanted a successful, hot girl that he thought would be awesome to be married to.
Yep.
And then that crushed him.
Yes.
He hit bottom.
Yep.
And then he was like, you know what?
What?
I want a best friend. I want someone I can count on.
That's the message of the movie, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's how he changed. I think she just matured and got less annoying, but
right.
But I think
I don't think so. I don't think she got less annoying. You know, I mean, she still would be annoying to a lot of people.
I mean, like 1 degree
she
less
got
annoying.
less annoying to him.
We started out like this, Ellen and I. We had blank walls, we hung things, we picked out tiles together. Then you know what happens? 6 years later, you find yourself singing Surrey with a fringe on top in front of Ira!
We have to talk about this right now.
Yes, I think that right now actually is the perfect time to talk about this because I want our friends to benefit from the wisdom of my experience. Right now, everything is great. Everyone is happy. Everyone is in love. And that's wonderful. But you got to know that sooner or later, you're going to be screaming at each other about who's going to get this dish. This $8 dish will cost you $1,000 in phone calls to the legal firm of That's Mine, This Is Yours.
Harry.
Please. Jess, Marie, do me a favor for your own good. Put your name in your books right now before they get mixed up and you don't know whose is whose. Because someday, believe it or not, you'll go 15 rounds over who's going to get this coffee table. This stupid, wagon wheel, Roy Rogers garage sale coffee table.
When you got divorced, did you have your names in your books?
Unfortunately, no. So this is one of the greatest scenes in the movie.
Yours.
Hello. I'm sorry to call so early.
Are you all right? No one I know would call at this hour.
I did something terrible.
What did you do? No one I know would call at this hour.
It's so awful.
I need to talk.
What happened?
What's the matter?
Harry came over last
I
night.
went over to Sally's last night.
Because I was upset that Joe was getting married.
And one thing led to another.
And before I knew it, we were kissing.
To make
and
a
then
long story short,
we did it.
They did it.
That's great, Sally.
We've been praying for
You
it.
should have done it in the first place.
For months we've been saying you should do it.
You guys belong together.
It's like killing two birds with one stone.
It's like two wrongs make a right.
How was it?
The during part was good.
I thought it was good.
But then I felt
But
suffocated.
then I guess it wasn't.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
The
I
worst.
had to get out of there.
He just disappeared.
I feel so bad.
I'm so embarrassed.
I don't blame you.
That's horrible.
I think I'm coming down with
I
something.
think I'm catching a cold.
Look, it would have been great if it worked out, but it didn't.
I should never go to bed with anyone when you found out your last boyfriend is getting married.
Who's that talking?
Who?
Is that Jess on the phone?
It's Jane Fonda on the VCR.
It's Brian Gumbel.
You
Do you
wanna
want to come
come
over for breakfast?
No, I'm not up to it.
No, I feel too awful.
Good. I mean, it's so early.
But call me later if you want.
I'll call you later, okay?
Okay, bye.
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 Bye. God.
I know.
Tell me I'll never have to be out there again.
It's so theatrical. That is such a. That's bringing the theater to the screen right there.
Yeah, the way they use the stereo.
Yeah.
Where they had Meg on the right, Billy way on the left, and then the other two kind of stereo panned in the middle.
What do you do with these women? You just get up out of bed and leave?
Sure.
Well, explain to me how you do it. What do you say?
Just have an early meeting, early haircut, early squash game.
You don't play squash.
They don't know that. They just met me.
That's disgusting.
I know I feel terrible.
You know, I'm so glad I never got involved with you. I just would have ended up being some woman you had to get up out of bed and leave at 3 o'clock in the morning and go clean your andirons. And you don't even have a fireplace. Not that I would know this.
Why are you getting so upset? This is not about you.
Yes, it is. You are a human affront to all women, and I am a woman.
Hey, I don't feel great about this, but I don't hear anyone complain.
Holy shit, this scene is long.
Of course not. You're out the door too fast.
I think they have an okay time.
How do you know?
I mean, how do I know? I know.
Because they...
Yes, because they...
How do you know that they're really...
What are you saying? That they fake orgasm?
It's possible.
Get out of here.
Why? Most women at one time or another have faked it.
Well, they haven't faked it with me.
How do you know?
Because I know.
Right. That's right. I forgot. You're a man.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It's just that all men are sure it never happened to them, and most women at one time or another have done it, so you do the math.
You don't think that I can tell a difference?
No.
Get out of here.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh.
Are you okay?
Oh. Oh, God. Ooh. Oh, God. Oh. 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 Oh, God. Oh, yeah, right there. Oh. 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 Oh, God. Oh. Yes. 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 Oh. Oh, yes. 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 Oh. Yes. 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 Oh. 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 Oh, God. Oh.
I'll have what she's having.
Oh, man. Is there ever a scene that is more known? I mean, tell me.
Number 33.
It's number 33
Of the
in
most popular scenes in film history.
Okay, so now this fucking movie is iconic. Yeah, and now it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I love the fact that the lady that says, "I'll have what she's having," is Rob Reiner's mom.
And that was a suggestion from Billy Crystal, an ad lib, not on the script suggestion. He said, "What if she says this?"
Let's just talk about the impact of that scene. That scene was 1989.
Have you ever had a girl that actually had an orgasm that sounded anything like that? Be honest.
Let me think about
Casey's
that.
sitting right here, and she's saying no. So be honest.
Oh no, let me think about it for a second. Yeah, no.
One.
Yeah.
Me. One girl. One girl.
I love that you one up me. You're just like, yeah, one. Like, because I'm locked into no. Because she's sitting over here.
But seriously.
That's the thing. I'm over here locked into no, and you're over there just like, well, I'm going to fucking combat that with yes.
One.
Here's my fucking big comeback. One.
I don't think
Guess
most
what? 33, motherfucker. I don't even know. That's not even a real number. That's not even a real number. Plus,
you've got to have sex with 33 girls first.
Plus, no dude has ever made 33 girls come. No. Ever.
Do you think anyone's actually faked it?
With me?
Yeah.
For sure.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you say for sure?
I just know for sure.
Because I'm Billy Crystal over here going, no, it's never happened.
No, you can tell by touching and you know, my story's sad too, man. I mean, like, I've been through a breakup and a divorce and stuff, and I know when shit gets real, and you know, you can tell when somebody just isn't into it. You know, and not really into it, just doesn't have any connection.
I feel like not one single person has faked it.
Man, I don't agree with you at all, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
faked it.
No, because there's been plenty of times when it hasn't happened.
Oh, and okay, that's fine.
It's
too.
not like it happens every day. Trust me, if it was 100%
Dude,
orgasm,
you went to college.
I'd be like, all
Everybody
right.
faked in college. I faked an orgasm in college, for Christ's sake. I was
because
just like,
honestly, before
I was masturbating at the time. That's the thing. Like, I faked myself out. Hey, French Playboy.
No, I feel sorry for every girl that I've ever been with before I was out of college because I didn't even know girl orgasms were a thing.
Oh, Richard.
No. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just meant like.
You mean it in a good way?
No, I just mean it in an ignorant way.
When did
I
you
mean it
figure
in an
out?
ignorant way. So until my first wife was the first girl that I'd ever made orgasm.
And by orgasm, you mean like internally or clitorally?
I'm pretty sure it could happen either way, Jaret.
Yeah, but they're two different ones.
He means in general.
I know,
mean
but
in
they're
general.
two different ones.
No, I know what you mean.
I know, but like the big one, you got to get them to do it inside.
No, that is not true, by the way. That is not true.
All right, well, there's a girl
As a matter of
literally
fact,
right over there.
It's clitorally is actually the bigger one.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
No, what's the answer to the question? Clitorally is bigger?
Well, I think it depends on the girl,
No.
probably.
Wait.
Clitorally is supposed to be bigger.
Hold on,
Based
let
on
her fucking
based
talk.
on Johnson
Jesus
and
Christ,
base-
Johnson and Johnson,
Masters and Johnson.
You're goddamn fucking
If you
research.
watch
I
Showtime.
actually think that this might be a game changer because I think he might actually be right.
Ah, I'm right. Jaret, you're
But
doing it
also
wrong.
depends on the person. He's not doing it.
Jaret, you're not doing it.
I've been doing a lot of thinking. And the thing is, I love you.
What?
I love you.
How do you expect me to respond to this?
How about you love me too?
How about I'm leaving?
Doesn't what I said mean anything to you?
I'm sorry, Harry. I know it's New Year's Eve. I know you're feeling lonely, but you just can't show up here, tell me you love me, and expect that to make everything all right. It doesn't work this way.
Well, how does it work?
I don't know, but not this way.
How about this way? I love that you get cold when it's 71 degrees out. I love that it takes you an hour and a half to order a sandwich. I love that you get a little crinkle above your nose when you're looking at me like I'm nuts. I love that after I spend a day with you, I can still smell your perfume on my clothes. And I love that you are the last person I want to talk to before I go to sleep at night. And it's not because I'm lonely, and it's not because it's New Year's Eve. I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
You see? That is just like you, Harry. You say things like that and you make it impossible for me to hate you. And I hate you, Harry.
No, I love that he realizes he's in love and he just takes off running and he's just running and
I'm
running
sorry.
and running.
I have to call bullshit on this.
Yep, me too.
I am lonely on a holiday, and I want, the girl who is the consolation prize.
Right.
And she doesn't want to be the consolation prize, but I'm sorry.
See,
you are the consolation prize.
I swear to God, I
because
never
if
saw
you
it as
weren't
that.
the consolation prize, he would have been going out with you a lot sooner than right now.
I honestly don't think that he thought of her that way. I really don't. I don't think that was the point of the movie. I think the point
of course not.
No,
of course
I
that
think
wasn't
the point of the movie
I'm
is
saying in
that
reality.
I know, but I think the point of the movie is that maybe he's in love, maybe he's not. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know what's going on. Here's this person that she's helping him put the carpet in his apartment, and there they are. They're sharing museums together, whatever. And all of that stuff. I think he's trying to be friends with her.
Right. And then when he runs out of women and he wants a girl on the holidays.
Yeah, but you don't feel like. But here's the thing: like, do you really honestly believe that he?
It's a consolation
Fuck,
prize.
man.
If he thought she was so fucking amazing, then why didn't he start dating her the first opportunity he had, which was when she asked him out on a fucking date?
Well, I don't disagree. Actually, I think even again, I told you this at the start of this podcast.
He's just been divorced.
No, he hadn't just been divorced. They had been divorced for quite a while, and they had been friends for quite a while. And I mean, they had already set up a Christmas tree together, and now it's a year later. She's doing it by herself. What I wonder is, like, who do you actually think this movie is about? Is this movie about Harry or is it about Sally? Who is it?
I mean, I think it's obviously Harry because Sally is a willing participant throughout the movie. All right, sorry, it's sexist for me to say this, but Sally is there for Harry from day one if Harry was willing to make it so. If he had not walked off from the very first scene and said, see ya, but instead pursued her, he could have gotten her.
When did Harry realize he was in love?
Okay, let me walk you through.
No, at what point did he realize he was in love?
I have to do this. The first scene, he walks away from her. She was ready to receive him, I think, honestly, because she was attracted to the bad boy. You know, he would have had to work for it.
I don't even think it's like a bad boy thing. No, but I think it's more of a dialogue thing. I think he intrigued her.
No, absolutely.
I think he intrigued, but he's not a bad boy. He's just a fucking douchebag.
Whatever. What do you think a bad boy is? He's a douchebag.
You're a dorky, like, frat guy that thinks that you're a bad boy and you're not. So you see Billy Crystal and think, what a bad boy.
First of all, I'm so badass that you're opening my beer for me. I'm just kidding.
I will throw this again.
Please
also,
finish.
it's a twist top, but that's fine.
I'm sorry.
I'll throw this
I'm sorry. I appreciate. No,
hey guys,
I appreciate.
Guys,
I'd like you to apologize one more time.
I'm really sorry. Thank you,
guys. That's
sweetie.
really
I love you. So in 5 years later, she asks him out, and he basically says no, but we can be friends. You know, and then she's like, oh darn, okay, we'll be friends, and so now they're friends only because Harry is not ready for her yet. 5 years later, they sleep together. And he's like, whoa, I don't want this. And she's like, wanting this. Again, he's not ready for her. 2 years later, because they said 12 years or whatever.
No, it's not 2 years
well,
later.
Whatever.
Here's the thing.
Anyway, my point is, until Harry decides he wants Sally, Sally is sitting there waiting for him every single time. So it's about Harry. If you got to choose one or the other, it's fucking Harry. And I know that sounds sexist, but it's the truth. I didn't write the fucking movie.
Obviously, I think it's about both. I don't think you could pick one, and that's
well, you just changed the rules on me.
Well, because that's the genius of the movie.
You just asked me a question.
I know, but it's the genius of the movie.
It's
the genius of the movie. Like
okay.
it's let's keep it small. It's linear, and it's about these two. Again, we don't. I mean,
I agree. It's about the two.
Yeah. It's about them.
But if you had to choose one, it's about Harry.
Yeah.
What does this song mean? My whole life, I don't know what this song means. I mean, should old acquaintance be forgot? Does that mean that we should forget old acquaintances? It doesn't mean that if we happen to forget them, we should remember them, which is not possible because we already forgot them.
Well, maybe it just means that we should remember that we forgot them or something. Anyway, it's about old friends.
The point is that he's doing a bit. You know, he's like that dude.
Right.
Who, no matter what happens, he does a bit. He's like my friend Scott, who is always on. Just always got to be doing a bit. Soundtrack, let's talk about it.
So, Harry Connick Jr.
So there's a little Louis Armstrong in there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that adds a lot.
It does. His voice is always so...
I actually hate his voice, but I really liked it in this
Do you
film.
though?
Yeah.
Like, when you, when you hear it at a funeral, does it make you cry?
God, no.
What makes you cry? I feel like you're invincible in the crying thing.
Really? Because
You don't cry a bunch.
I cry at romantic movies all the time.
Me too. Did you cry at this movie?
No.
Me either.
Not even close, right?
Do you cry like when your kids do some shit? And all that,
my kids can fucking jerk it out of me, no problem.
Yeah, me too.
Big time.
Your kids jerk it out of you all the time? Yeah.
Did you have to go there?
Well, no. Did you have to word it that way?
I mean, I know you saw the opportunity,
Holy
but
no, but like, do you have to word it that way?
Jerk the tears out of me.
Jerk it out of you is super weird.
I'm leaving this in,
man.
by the way.
Dude, by the
You're
way,
the
I don't
perv.
care.
You're the perv in this
no,
situation.
You are. You're saying
the
your kids jerk it out of you. That's a whole thing.
My kids are probably going to listen to this at some point.
Yeah, well,
and
guess
they're
what?
Go, wow,
Jaret
like, really is.
No, they're going to be like, what did we do? Daddy, what did we do? And then you lose everything.
Harry Connick Jr., what's your opinion?
I love Harry Connick Jr.
By the way, you are a professional musician.
I am, yeah.
What is your professional opinion about Harry Connick Jr.?
I'm going to be honest about this movie. I don't give a shit about the soundtrack. I didn't listen to any of the songs except for Louis Armstrong.
Really? So you don't appreciate Harry, or?
I think I do. I just think it's so sunk in that
it's synonymous, right? Like,
what?
For me, Harry Connick Jr. is When Harry Met Sally.
Is that true?
Oh, God, yes. It had to be you.
I don't know. Aren't those all covers?
Yes, they're covers, but I didn't know they were covers I don't think anyone knew they were covers.
I think everybody knew they were covers.
Nobody knew they were covers.
They're all fucking covers.
Yeah, they're covers, but I don't think anyone knew they were covers because I didn't know. I didn't know that they were covers.
I think
As a matter of fact, you know when I knew they were covers? When I did research for this.
I think my mind was putting it all out there and being like, guess what, Jaret? Don't pay attention to this because you're not going to get any of the publishing. So just write your own shit all the time. And that now I'm famous.
Right. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, right?
But he's Mr. Classics.
No, he's the fucking best, dude. He gets all the chicks. He gets all the movies.
Well, he is married to a model. But yeah, I mean.
He gets all the chicks, though.
Sure. But, okay, what do you think about his musicianship?
I don't really know anything about him. What do you think about it? I think you want to talk about it.
I mean, he's amazing. I'm surprised that you don't think he's amazing.
You're a piano player.
I sort of am a piano player.
And he's a piano player.
He is not only a piano player, he is like more than a piano player.
Yep. And you think
I mean, I can't even, like, if he was in a room, I'd have to run to the opposite city of the country. You know what I mean?
Love Harry Connick Jr.
No, I'm not saying I love Harry Connick Jr. I'm just saying that he deserves respect in a musicianship sort of way that I could never give. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
I could never give. Like, okay, let me let you. I have a clip.
Hold on. Do you love Harry Connick Sr.?
I don't even know who the fuck that guy is.
Nobody does.
Yeah. So I have a clip. And okay, and this is the beginning of the movie. This is the end of the song of the beginning of the movie, which is It Had to Be You. Okay? And you're a musician. You understand notes.
I don't.
You understand? No, fuck off.
I don't know anything about music at all. I'm serious. I swear to God.
You understand melody.
I do not.
Oh, fucking.
All right,
stop
just
it.
fucking
You're
play
gonna
it.
know. You're gonna know
I
what
don't
I'm
know
saying.
anything.
First of all, you know. Okay, let me put it. Let me put it in this perspective. You know way more than I know. So I'm gonna put it in perspective as that. And here's Harry Connick Jr. playing a piano instrumental version of It Had to Be You, and he knows that this version is going to be the very beginning of the movie. The first thing as the credits are rolling before any dialogue is spoken. And this is the end of it because this is the part that I want to focus on. Did you hear all those dissonant notes?
I did, yeah. And
the out of key notes, the what I would consider wrong notes, the fucked up notes. He makes those work. For some reason, they work, right? I mean, that's jazz. I mean, I obviously I don't understand jazz like he fucking way understands jazz. But it's like, I mean, I can't even sing them out of key. Like
right.
They're fucked up. But he's doing it on purpose because he knows music so well that he's going to go, I know the rules, and now I'm going to fucking break those rules because I want that kind of a sound. That's what blows me away by Harry Connick Jr.
Well, in synopsis, man, I think this movie actually did turn out to be iconic and worth reviewing and actually, we don't review movies. We talk about them.
I don't think we can get away from reviewing them. We're just reviewing them from two dudes that don't know shit.
Yeah, but the thing is that like we both say shit from this movie all the time, right?
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
And I feel like if we're gonna say shit from a movie, we should talk about it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is more of the softer side of Jaret Goes to the Movies.
No, it's not that. This is the drunker side of it, and it didn't start out that way.
No,
yeah. So we'll
started
just
completely sober.
See what happens. But hey, thank you guys so much for listening. Rich, what's the Facebook page?
It's facebook.com/Jaret Goes to the Movies.
What is the Twitter?
Is at Jaret Movies.
What is the website?
JaretGoesToTheMovies.com.
What you got this week?
Nothing. I have.
You don't have anything?
No,
I feel like you have stuff.
I feel like I just want them to go like us.
I know, just like us, just like our
YouTube
stuff.
We've got youtube.com/Jaret Goes to the Movies podcast.
Go check that out. It's the best. And so here's what I got. I got Bowling for Soup Christmas sweaters on the Bowling for Soup Facebook page right
Those
now.
things look awesome, by the way.
Thank you. You can go check that out. Just Facebook Bowling for Soup.
And I meant ugly by awesome.
Thank you. That's amazing. Please check out my artist Facebook page. It's just Jaret Reddick.
JaretReddick.com.
Yeah. Yeah. And follow me on Twitter, JARET2113. Also on Instagram, JARET2113.
What is 2113?
Well, we'll talk about that next time.
Okay.
I'm the same on the spot. Is it Spotify? Is that a thing? I think of the same thing on that. So just follow me on all the shit. And good night and good day and all of the stuff.
Good day, sir.
First time we met, we hated each other.
No, you didn't hate me. I hated you. The second time we met, you didn't even remember me.
I did too. I remembered you. The third time we met, we became friends.
We were friends for a long time.
And then we weren't.
And then we fell in love. 3 months later, we got married.
And it only took 3 months.
12 years and 3 months.
We had a really wonderful wedding.
It really was a
It was great. We had this enormous coconut cake.
Huge coconut cake with the tears, and there was this very rich chocolate sauce on the side.
Right, because not everybody likes it on the cake because it makes it very soggy.
Particularly the coconut soaks up a lot of that stuff, so it's important to keep it on the side.
Right.